Oh yeah, ne? Thank God and thank human ingenuity for Google. So can you find a nicely summarized definition of Pan-Africanism Google? Ne? It says the principle or the advocacy for political or ideological union by African people worldwide, roughly. So it is that idea whereby Africans all over the globe are trying to, I'd say, for lack of a better word, reclaim, but to establish back something that is true historically, but now trying to organize it in the present. Yeah, because it's all known like African people are one people, ne? They have scattered through migrations, through slavery, colonialism, through moving and whatever, ne? But in essence, and Ubanba is that like we are one people. What do I mean by that? We descended from common people. Yeah, you can see, but like all humans, we take it to that route, yeah. But that's not where I'm focusing right now, specifically addressing the Africans. Because they are the ones who are seemingly, because sometimes what appears how something appears might not how it is in actuality. But guys, it appears as Africans, it's a story that has been told for centuries now, if not eons. We do not know when the fall of the black race started, but yeah, I doubt it got to eons. But anyway, that Nanzika. Okay, I'm trying to identify his own people to clarify. Yeah, I'm not talking about us getting along, us being nice to each other, wada. I'm just saying, but historical facts is, but we are one people. I have not gotten into the dynamics of the relations and the forms of interactions that may come about due to the times that we are in, to how things are going, due to how things that have happened in the past have made the present to be. Okay, so let me get to the topic. Is Pan-Africanism still relevant, like still a thing these days, in this age of individualism, of like self-centeredness, of too much, not that it's a bad thing, but too much, across all cultures. None is spared from that. Well, Pan-Africanism, even though it feels like a dying horse, people are even tired now by it, because they have seen no actual, real, concrete, effective, influential, uplifting movements and changes that have occurred and are defined and attributed solely to the Pan-African movement, saying, but like, this change when the way we're doing this came as a result of this movement. So it feels like it has no concrete results, no substantial evidence. It's been bubbling for underneath. I mean, it's been influential in the guiding policies of many African leaders. So you cannot say it has not been there. It's been there. It's been an invisible guiding hand, but to actually have a structure that is in motion, and something, and virtues or things that change because that we can attribute to it visibly. It's not like that. So that's why enough is even irrelevant now, you know what I mean? But I'm not saying, but like even Africanism, yeah, maybe the old model, yeah, the old way of understanding it, I say, but it's not really relevant. Well, as I was saying, well, the way I see it, I would say that first of all, let me say, but Pan-Africanism will forever be relevant to the African agenda, right? But it may not necessarily come in one form. As time goes by, it will shift, it will evolve, it will accumulate stuff, so it won't stay as a rigid Nanzega like that. The core Nanzega, the core idea of it will be the Nanzega, I don't want to use the word union because it implies people when they think that they are automatically being kind of forced or being tricked, maybe with emotion or whatever, into getting along, into being nice and being good to other Africans and yeah. But let me say, okay, I stretched it far, but I wanted to replace the word union with cooperation, because necessarily we do not have to like each other, be in union in order for us to work together, to have like an interaction, have a relationship, to have like a trade going on or business or whatever the interaction. But anyway, that's not where I'm at. Pan-Africanism will forever be relevant, but it may change forms, because it is one of the keys to the salvation, restoration, and an establishing idea. One of them into the redemption of the black race, if there is such a thing. It will happen under the African banner, but it may change in forms. So I'm saying, but like I just want to clear that, but like it will always be relevant, yeah. But it has to evolve, it has to change, yeah. It has to expand, it has to, what do I mean by that? The old African Pan-Africanist, whereby it was, I won't say blind, but where its main objective or goal or wish or whatever was to unite political or ideological, which is crucial. By now, every African in the world should know, but like we want people, folks. Like it shouldn't even be for debate no more. Now other things should be debated is like how are we gonna structure relations. So as I was saying, but African is one of the key things. If the black race, and it's still something that like African people at large, it's something that they still value, believe, and hope in the idea that, in the vision that many of our ancestors died for, worked for, dreamed for, sacrificed for, which is the union of the black race, and its restoration into being, into its rightful place of being the most powerful I don't know what I should say, race group, or people, let me just say people, most powerful people on this earth. I don't want to use those languages because they may be attached with ideas that we are trying to move past, such as of like racism, namely. But if we are honest and we look at the way the global economics are structured, fundamentally those things are like are founded on ethnicity. We cannot run away from that. We are the only people who are being guilt tripped into feeling guilty and bad and all sorts of like those mixed emotions about being for first, for being for self first. Just due to many things, I won't delve into it much. But I was saying that's like a form of Pan-Africanism, whereby it was, we see like in terms of like when we talk like from the top, being from the governments, things such as Burma, like the CFL trade, the what is that francophone countries trying to have the essentially the struggles to unite, you know what I mean. But when I'm saying about from the traditional, from that one, it will have to now to move into a more subtle form. First, it will have to be like an idea, an ideology that is like deeply embedded, first of all, on every African as an individual. School can play you, and it can be a tool that can be used in establishing that, because I don't know if we've moved from that view, but traditionally we as African people, we have viewed school as only a place of like going on that, I won't say even learning, but accumulate those facts, pass, such that you can get a job, such that you can be able to pay bills, buy food, essentially, so you can live and survive. But school is much more than that. School is a place of creating the types of people you need to solve, innovate, to expand the problems, the opportunities, the possibilities, and so in your society. Let's not have a narrow outlook on what the purpose of education is. But that's not where I'm at. it would have to be embodied now. Not something that is out there, waving green flag, black people for Africans, by being truly, honestly, actually being for yourself deeply, like, and truly and totally for yourself. You're already embodying the ideals of Pan-Africanism. Now, without need studying the ideology and this thing about for being, by being for yourself, you're already Pan-Africanism. What do you mean being for yourself? Meaning, not exclusively being for yourself only, but I'm trying to say that the primary outlook or attitude that you hold is that first you want for yourself, for your family, and yes, possibly later on for your community, from your town, province, country, continent, and then eventually the world. You want in this extreme the best, but to start small, just into the good or the bad, for you, and it is in that order I've said it in. You, family, community, whatever, but since you're firstly calling out and family, since you don't worry, don't first start worrying about the world, calling out, you'll find that that is more of a daunting task than you might have previously anticipated. And again, meaning that it will have to be an invisible guiding hand, meaning that now, even in terms of our political organizations, now let's get over that. I thought I was going to do a review on some interview that once Rupert, the fat guy, man, the rich, white motherfucker, Rupert, that guy, I forgot his name. I think Rupert is his name, or maybe his name, I don't know, but I think it's his name, man. I thought I was going to do an interview he once did, whereby he was saying, I won't saying, but I solely got this idea from him, but he just voiced it out so carelessly in an interview, saying that because I'm using this example because it's public, so you can even look it out in this interview he once did. He's saying, giving an advice to especially leaders, political leaders, that the time and age for do struggle of concrete, that struggle of compatible being fighters by being advocates for black power, free black people, those type of ideologies, guys, just leave them away now. It's now the time that we're in now. We don't need abanye comrade. Comrade they served their purpose. At the now we need a different struggle now. It doesn't need a comrade now. What it needs is primarily is innovators, is entrepreneurs, is business people, it's scientists, lawyers, what not forgetting the trades, the skills services like plumbers, carpenters or whatever. Those people are practically useful. Like they are, I won't say importance, but their place on their relevance when you there Nancy cannot need not be inquired. You see it, you need that the Nancy the trade. The ones that need to be, I would say, are really not redirected as such. They like in within themselves, but the aim of how we're gonna use Nancy the education. It needs to be polished and defined and clearly defined and deeply instilled, such that it becomes like a norm that is unquestioned now. Everywhere everybody sees it's not like it's a necessity and dysfunction and need or whatever. Well, what am I saying? I'm saying that the professions that are a little bit like intellectual, less like physical. I don't know how I'm gonna say like the lawyers, the accountants, the don't know. Those professions zone as black people, we could. I'm not saying that's like the mandate that should be, but I think the way I see it, I think it would be best that we use those professions, right? To look at first, to look at them more than it's just a mere jobs that give us money so that we can buy whatever we want. That's part and parcel of it, and it's an important aspect of it. But now let's look at those jobs as, what am I gonna call it now? As part of a bigger objective, or bigger goal, agenda, endpoint, objective, which is one of the the critical areas that is lacking in the African agenda. It as much as it has like those African like sustainable goals and whatever, but essentially as a people, we should not shy away from going after global the word is running away from me. Global I want to use the word dominance, because it implies over others, but global mastery, I could say. Global supremacy, I could say that, but not in that primitive thing of like bloodshed, of like that animalistic a way of not. No, I'm talking about the new age wars now that are going on, primarily economically, technologically, and so forth and so forth, man. But it's I could go on and on. I could be like so long, but I wanna get to the gist, like the important parts of it before I expand on the other things. I wanna make sure like the critical issues, like they are I trust even the same. So as I was saying, but like right now what we need, my fellow folks, my fellow Africans, ne? Yebana, we need Nansika bras. People, business people and Nansika who are gonna create global Nansika corporations that are gonna be competing with the Nansika with the best in the world. So those Nansika, we need to go. We should have Nansika like a long time ago. We should have like what is this process called? We should have we run away now like Africa like a long time ago, even in those times when we were still getting independence. What Boma Cromwell Kuma should have done there when they were meeting Boma Accra, they should have like firstly Nansika industrialized Africa. Like one of the Nansika like of the one of the main points. We shouldn't even be talking those things at these times. You know, I mean, how you gonna depend on everything too, but let's not Nansika from the Nansika now. I'm gonna create global corporations, institutions like this thing needs to be breaking down, and I'm trying to fit into bits and pieces by the important keys are across like I've gotten across. But frankly, you need like from global financial institutions that are like on the ones okay, yes, I get them, that those ones that are existing, but somebody call this thing like a nationalization or like nationalization, but the fruits of a state should be primarily be like enjoyed by the by the citizens of such a nation. Essentially, when we are being like using common sense, like layman's common sense, which is the best because everybody understands it, but when it's a straight up rip off what these Nigerians are doing, but even them, we can't blame them because they're doing that for their best interest. So you can't blame a lion for being a lion for hunting, but I'm saying too, because currently we are the prey. The same, but like as a prey, we should be a little bit more smart. Now, we can't blame the the predator. We were like, oh no, why is the predator coming after us? Why is the predator let's say it's in his nature. It's in its nature, when it's given, it's happening, we'll deal with it later, why it's happening, when is the way that you can change it, is the way whereby you cannot do it. But for now, we say, when even be in a position whereby it can't get access to you, if it can get, it must be to a bare minimum, because as much as we may feel sorry for the prey, but the prey should conjure up strategies such as that, but like they always move in packs maybe, and they practice using like their horns or whatever they've been given by nature to defend themselves like more efficiently, such that like even if animals had like the learning capacity of humans, they the lion will always lead the springbok maybe, but as the springboks evolves, it gets smarter, it gets Nansiga, I feel it would you would be able to gain. I need to be easily picked out like that, man. I could expand on this, man, but I don't want to, Imagine if Nansiga they had like the learning capacity, they'd be like, okay, how about we stick in groups, let's say like gazelles or whatever, springboks, they like they in terms of like they start like using a tactic of like, okay, out of they saw like a lion hunted them, then maybe he picked down one prey, and then they communicate, they say, but like, okay, we gotta always move in packs now. Some things get some other animals that belong, like it's even in their DNA now. And they use their horns in a way that when they fight, maybe they form some sort of shield but it's impenetrable, and the defensible is like impeccable, but it's impenetrable. You know, I wanted to use the word that Mike used when he was like saying like, my defense is impeccable or something like that. But anyway, but I'm telling you, like the way to understand like the animals, the prey and the predator and the what and the what, they would change. But anyway, that's not where we at. But I'm saying, but like, okay, Africans now we no longer, we don't need like the stages of boomer grade is gone, guys. Now we need people who are gonna just straight up talk less, do shit, create powerful entities, systems that are replicable, that are expandable, that are most importantly that are real life helping do those things that like function there. We need to first come down to the level of like for our layman that Tina. We can't be quickly like we talk of like economic surpluses whereby majority of our people, they are still like hungry, food, houses. We need to take care of the bases first. Yeah, that's one thing, because the majority of the people in the African continent, when you think like the economy is good, the rand is what, that to them is like, in a sense, doesn't matter, because it goes round up. If you don't have food, like, what does that matter? Like, what is that good for? When you don't benefit, when none of that, you don't benefit directly and immediately and lively, like life realistically. Because you don't like have the capital that it refers to when it says, but like, well, the markets are good for such a thing and thing. And I won't there are black classes that are like in those brackets. So first they are the super elite blacks, those ultra rich. And then there are those white, the woman, the white but upper class, and then there are those like middle class, and then there are those working class. But I cannot say in some points, but that's not the video for that. But okay, I am going across many domains in order to get my point across. Look, this shouldn't even need to be said, But since we are people who are still like below, way below, the poverty line, in your career, but Oh God, I'm losing slang now. Okay, Africans, ne? I'll be straight with you, ne? On this issue, ne? Distinction should need not be something that is still being preached at this time, ne? But since we are people who are like majoritically in and stuck in different like forms, like in many different areas of the past, but we are majoritically people who are still in the past. Okay, now, but listen, normally if we're let alone just saying, just saying, not anything else, if we're saying, this thing of like seeing that they are recognizing the need, the usefulness, and the advantage of being one, working together, I won't say uplifting, as if it's something that is from a hand that is like from a better place of position, even though it may appear as that in terms of like status, money and whatever. But I'm okay, but collaborating, it should not be something that is still being said, but like, okay, as Africans, we should trade more with ourselves. We should first like get ourselves like together first, fix our internal affairs, and then we can be able to deal with the world from a better position. But those things still have to be said, because due to many things from colonialism, slavery, Jim 2007, but where I'm going is that self-loathing, basically it's many forms and many other things of the African is not unfounded. It's something that has been like being made for over like centuries and centuries, so it's no really wonder why it's that deep, and why it's gonna be one of the things, like top three of them is seemingly like the most difficult thing to get over. We're born in Nancy. Is everything between us teenagers, people of the soil, the sun, those with charcoal skin, like those the Nancy descendants of the originals, because we are the true originals. Yo, we born in micro Nancy relations and interactions. You'll be XLRP into in global stages, because iqala la nto ibe inantsika within yourself. Bona uba inantsika man, self-loathing and full confidence in myself, it's pretty high. Needs again, like it goes down to those like the psychological atrocities we faced and still face. Others we created by ourselves. We can't blame everything on colonialism and whatever, even though it's a big part, but some of were self-inflicted and self-perpetuated and maintained. Now, but it matters not even if we're in Ansega sometimes, or the origin, the reason for it. The most important thing is that is the solution, and like the way of moving forward in the present, fixing it. Even people still be telling us each other, like, okay, let's support, let's love each other. I guess it was hard to get people still kind to love themselves. You can be a real battle. You just humanize yourself. So it makes it like never one Bentley. Tilthandana libe ndiya-accepta ndibe ndizithina amanye ama-Afrika mhlawumbi when you're still battling with you first primarily with yourself, partner, family, and so on and so on. So ezinye ziza secondary. But I think I believe that, but like, if you can win that one with yourself, you are halfway there with the others. But anyway, we shouldn't be saying that at those times ever. Okay, Africans should be for each other primarily, and you may say that is like a prejudice, like why should be Nanzela, but let's say you find children here, this one is better off in terms of like okay, let me say just plain example. There's a kid who was hurt in a bike, he got a bruise, and then another one he's like a bruise, almost broke his leg. Another one is a stretch, by discerning and discriminating which one to attend first, which is a form of discrimination. You attended another one first, you have another one first, because their pain was more severe, more urgent, and more pressing than the other one. It doesn't necessarily mean that you do not like the other one, you hate the one who got a bruise just because you attended to that one who was hurt more. It's same as when you are giving people what is fortunate. If there's that one who can like afford food, he just wants money to go to town, and then there's another one who needs this money to eat food. You have to evaluate, to disseminate. Okay, which one is better me giving this money to? That's a form of discrimination. That is a form of injustice. But it's those things that are like they are understanding, they overstanding, and like they are obvious in a sense. If you have some sense in your head, you shouldn't even have to like debate or have to prove that. If a person has got a sense in your mind, you should like that was the right judgment or call to make. But if you are too much involved in your mind, you are one of those people who always about winning intellectual battles, being about right, always about being the one who's right, being like the one who wins, being the one on top, being the one to talk the most, to be the last word, which is not necessarily wrong things, but if they are not the best solutions into the situations, it shouldn't be about who says it. It should be about the best opinion on the best, the best view, the one that is like is more rewarding to all the parties than the rest. It should be about that. Should be the thing that like reigns supreme when you are holding a conversation. It should not be about being right, but it should be about which out of these views and opinions, which one is the best to apply, which one tackles this problem more efficiently. And it may not be that one that came out of that person. It may need to be mixed with the others, opinions of others, and then you come out with the best. Those are the reasons of discussions. But there's that phenomenon in people that they call an ego. What that basically is, it's it's a self-made self that a person has of themselves in their mind, ne? And do not think you can just downplay it or just like over and it. It's important because it maintains a sense of self to the person, you know. That's why you see the people could go like sacrifice limb and what you understand the saying for that, because to them it feels as themselves, you know. So, but I partially blame the way the education system is set up, that thing of people not wanting to be wrong, because in school you are taught that to be wrong is wrong, yeah. So that's why you strive to be always right, yeah, because you get the right answers because you want to pass, and I think conditions you now that to always like to be right, to be a value that you value, yeah. It's something that you practice out unconsciously, yeah. You want to be right, yeah. Kind whereby it should be pushing you to be able to learn the thing, yeah. Okay, obvious children, people won't be equal in learning the thing, there will be those who learn it better, faster than the others, just like with anything else, yeah. There is hardly something that whereby people they can be be the same level when they're starting out, but as time goes by there are gonna be differences in the skill, you know. Yeah, that is a problem again to the person, to their ego when they are being outdone, yeah, which is not a wrong thing. It's a good thing to be competitive, yeah. But it's wrong when it becomes pathological, yeah, and we ruminate and then go through that dark spiral road, yeah, whereby you're hating on people, now you wanna kill them because of jealousy. Jealousy, I see them as a mistake. It should be there. Jealousy is healthy, yeah. But it's misplaced or being misused when you're considering, because the reason why you're like that, you think there's nothing that when you are or can be exceptionally good at. That is not that thing that by that other person is good in. If it's like it's in running, or it's in soccer, in school, you may be good in soccer, but when it comes to the classroom, it's gonna be another kid who's better in terms of like academics, when find your field and improve there. Don't focus on the ability or the knowledge of another. That's what is gonna cloud from your own powers, and then you end up thinking that there's nothing that you're gifted with. Yeah, and then you hate now people, you hate the world, you curse the world, but like what can you know? Awuzuqabuqetha abantu kunto zonke kaloku zizaba khona. Yes, mhlawumbe izinto ezininzi uba yabo you are dominating over everyone, but zizaba khona ezo areas, and to be sane means to know that, but like, and accept it fully and normally that, but like, zizaba khona lo area whereby I'm gonna be outbested, yabo. If uyayazi uba zikhona uzithembe ngayo, awubi nangxaki. Uyazi xa uyazi uba umthembu wenye area nokuba kulo area whereby uyayazika sentshuwa uyafuza kuyo kusentshuwa uyafohla kuyo, yawathini, awuyumandi kakhulu uba kukho i-area that uqinisekile ngayo. Iba buhlungu xa ungenayo uqoma like into engathi kwathini. And single people have to be shown their powers. It's how we may circumvent is Cain Abel roots, show people their powers, their responsibilities, such that they may not be too focused on other people's business and stuff. And when you are neck deep with your own shit, you hardly get the time to fucking hate or be concerned about what is going on with the others. It's when you have deprived yourself, ignored, suppressed, avoided, running away from your problems, responsibilities, opportunities, powers, because when opportunities and powers is embedded within the problems and crises. That's why they are born. So much is your powers. Sipha ezingxakini zakho. So when you don't know, maybe your family kept that away from you, and you have also participated by not wanting to look. You do not know the duties that you have to do, and therefore your situation, your opportunities, and your powers and your problems, where you would find things that would be good for you and that would be bad for you. You don't find them. You don't necessarily. You don't get. Find them when you whatever. You don't get to necessarily have them. That's when you turn your eye and you focus a little bit more on other people's things than your own, because when you don't know your own, you don't they are hidden. What they are there. So it's so long. Let me take a break. It's so long. Now let me say this to the upcoming generations of those who are of African descent. I know Furusiba is gonna sound and seem and feel intimidating, scary, way out of our league and reach, and way out of our world, of our league, of our grasp and whatever, and our capabilities. But sons and daughters of the soil, in these upcoming years, what is needed out of you? We do not lie, Shem. We need true champions. We need people who are gonna do big, difficult, long, things. We need people who are gonna create African brands, from cars to appliances to technologies. So it's fintech, like a financial technology, whether it's a systems, like whether it's corporations, whether it's something that we need. We need the best in everything from you and more. Truly, if you're gonna go the upper route, the other route of trying of striving and trying to be the best that you could be in Funansika, in life terms, you're gonna need gods, bros, and goddesses. We're gonna need champions. We're gonna need warriors. And also with other route applies. When we deteriorate, we are going to be at a worst lower state. Like when we suffer, we still going to suffer. Like the rabbit hole, the spiral, the spiral of descent is endless now. Is a bottomless journey. You know, when you descend, when you deteriorate, when you tumble, when you fall. Yeah, right. Now it's like it has an indeterminable bottom. So we can be like there are lives, there has been lives, and there will be lives who have been nothing but continuous descent. Same as the other way around, whereby some lives or some other people seemingly they are just an upward scream of ascension, even though they usually, though it's in the majority it's a mixture of both, you know, of rises and falls, of falls and rises, and falls and rises. But hopefully in the end it's a rise that overly seemed and that wins hopefully an ascension, again an end point. But not an ascension necessarily, but I would say continuation, and no continuation can be also evaluated as a demise, but a continuation that is an improvement. Yeah, so sometimes you never know the cards that you're going to be dealt. You hope that in the end the victory will overcast the failures, the shortcomings, the sufferings, the pains. Yeah, and so that's the story of a successful hero, according to the myth of the hero. There is also the other side of the coin, the journey of the adversary, whereby out of facing the unshortable, like the things that are not like short in demand, which are the miseries and the pains and the blows of life. When an individual encounters such as everyone will fairly encounter in their lifetime. But now what happens in some people is that when utter life hits them, they end up corrupting the person. the pain and the hurts are too much, the person just turns to the heart. The dark side of the heart wins. But yeah, man. Hence, now and I know it's a very tricky thing to say, especially when I might say it from a position whereby more than most, I'd say I'm coming from like a position that is better off. Because when people come from conditions that are so hard that I cannot even imagine, we'll see. But my hope and prayer is that as whenever noma ulife angakushaya kanjani ube ujacule and be nothing and umgqumela uphambane usithini okanye whatever to the lowest, but please zama uba angakuguqula. Yes, feel the pain, be spiteful and want to have your revenge, but your total outlook of your heart must not be changed because of the hardships of life. It's not easy to do that, and I'm saying that it's risky because some people did deal with things that when you get to hear about them, you would understand that they had no choice but to turn, to the other route. It was just another constant blow, constant blow after another. They never got a break, and they're like finally So even now I have to be careful about saying that, because I do not know people out there, people go through the harshest thing that you be like, if they be like, hey, this tried life, you thought your life was nothing, it was hard, and then they be like, you be like, you give me mine back, but we must try by all means. That's when we can say defeat, and that's when that old bastard who's I don't want to use a typical name, but that old bastard who strives for the triumph of the one advocates for the victory of the ungood side. I was looking for I didn't want to say, because that tries everything. I didn't want to say devil or Satan, but the force that is for what I would say the opposite of triumph, prospering of growth. That's when that side is won. Once it is, I get like that thing. It's hard not to want to say that. It's hard to stay. I won't say a good person, but it's hard not to be an evil person in this world. The things that you get tempted like over and over again. Now you're like, man. Maybe it's foolishness to have the best interests at heart. You're like, so why am I not numb for to distraction of everything? There are times whereby distraction is necessary, but then there are times when it's in excess, too much, the history of the 19th century. I can tell you all about that. When those that were in power were too much tilted towards hate, anger, fear, destruction, death. I believe in the universe is now something. That ancient war between good and bad, I think it has phases whereby this time the other side is on top. It's the prevailing force, and then another one, and Eon for the other side too. Brain supreme, but yeah, man, the interchange. I think there's an overall now. Overall these. It's time of gloom and doom, and then there are other eons that are for dominantly for prospering. I don't know which are the deciders of, what are the deciders for the prevalence of which side at that time. I don't know whether they are long determined, they are fixed in motion just do the stitches, like the yin and yang maybe, or the prevailing side is due to the side that was better prepared. It was the strongest of the time. Maybe it's not preordained, Maybe the side that wins is the one that was fed the most and was trained and was worked the most, and did the most, Maybe it's not about being good or about being bad, maybe God being good or being bad. The thing that the states that gets to be is the one that prevailed, is the one that won, is the one that was fed the most, is the one that was encouraged, the one that was practiced the most. You never know. The episode I'll give you about another time. I think I've deviated from the main point because the main origin of the thing was the relevancy of Pan-Africanism in these times. Well, Pan-Africanism, we don't need but to take Natsiga now, whereby it takes forms in people now who building companies of cars, planes, of weapons of Natsiga Africa, and they wear it now. Secretly, they ain't even gotta be told, they ain't even gotta preach it, It's something that they still gotta accept, it's gotta be sold to them. It'll be part and parcel of their everyday living, you know what I mean? Audience who are deeply driven to put Africa to its rightful place, which is, as much as that might cause a stir, which is the top, because we are the eldest, but all these races are children to us, and rightfully Lumdala Bifamba where Kokera leads the way and shows the children what is the better path to walk, to live, to be, to whatever. Hopefully we learn the game. We not want to take up the throne just because we're it's supposed to be ours. Sometimes something can be yours, but if you're not ready for it, then it's better to be given to others who are gonna do better than you, even though it was originally for you. But if uzayisquandarisha, don't take the nansika there, the post deposition. That's because you're like, hey, it's meant to be mine. And when you can see by this person can do a better job, when I'm not in the right position, like in the best position to perform, then I take the roles of that post or position. You need to be deserving. Go on.